all being here for me and showing all the love that everybody is doing. So we light our Christ candle, and here we go. Okay. As we light the Christ candle, we acknowledge the presence and the power of the Christ, energy that lives within each of us. That energy force, we are it, and it is us. And we are grateful, and so it is. So it is. Today I'm just going to kind of continue on, and that's to give a few more people to join in to hear the wonderful, wonderful talk. But
Barbara, I'm going to break in. I get the music spaces. So if there's a Bill music space, I get it. So now Bill is going to do a joy song, but he's in Nebraska. So today we're going to do it a little differently. And so the joy song is one that I'm going to ask and challenge each of you this week to call up a young man named Jason Mraz, M-R-A-Z, on video. The name of the song is I Won't Give Up on Us. And I'm going to just read the lyrics, and I want you to imagine this young man has such a great attitude about life and empowering each of us, and that spirit walks with us. And so listen to these lyrics for our joy song. When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise, because there's so much they hold. And just like them old stars, I see that we've come so far to be right where we are. How old is your soul? I won't give up on us. Even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up. Take a look at that song sometime this week. And it is about the fact that no matter who we are or where we are in life, we're always on the path. Even if we're by phone, we're always on the path. And so there are no accidents, no coincidences. God has us right where we belong, and we're right where we're meant to be. And as Jason Mraz says, I won't give up on us. Back to you, Barbara, for the welcome.
Well, yes, welcome to everyone. And yes, we're all on our own path. And as most all of you know, my husband passed away on January the 23rd. And here we are. We're on our own path. And I've received so much love and support from my Unity family, from all my friends here. And then my two daughters flew in from Florida and Utah, whatever, to spend a few days with me, and they just left a little while ago. And wow, it was beautiful. Life is beautiful. It's the way it's meant to be. I really feel strongly about that. And my husband was, because I see one person that would know this information, he was already in 87, and he was ready to go. And so now, in a different form, he is definitely with me. Yes, Hank. And we are just going through the rest of this life, whatever it is, together. And so this is the time. I would like to read this is who we are, the invocation affirmation.
But wait a minute, Barbara. And now for something completely different, we're going to go ahead and again, because singing is not working, doesn't work really well with a 2-second delay that Zoom has. So we're just going to again go through the lyrics of Surely the Presence. And I want you just to all take a breath and listen to these most amazing words. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. It has always been said, whenever two or more are gathered in his name, here we are, the divine. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings and see glory on every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. And we also do the feminine side. Surely the presence of the light is in this place. I can feel her mighty power and her grace, and feel the brush of angels' wings and the glory of each face. The presence of the light is in this place. And that flows naturally into the prayer that is the basic foundation for pretty much any of the major Western religions, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And now, Barbara is going to do the readings of who we are and how we come together.
You know, Dave, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful, not just, I know singing is a wonderful thing, and Charles Fillmore, singing was a great joy, but hearing those words was beautiful. Thank you so much, Dave. And now I realize, had I been on a little earlier, I would have realized that you really are following our usual schedule.
I am.
So I will too. But anyway, let me go ahead with the implication affirmation. There is only one presence and one power active in my life. God.
Dave, you muted yourself and now we can't hear her or you.
And one power active in our world, God, the good, omnipotent. And then our mission statement, which reflects the heart of our church. Unity, Clear Lake Center, is committed to loving all and empowering people to transform their lives through the practice of universal spiritual principles and the energy of God's love. And the basic foundation of unity, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Human beings have a spark and spirit within them, and the Christ consciousness within. Therefore, they are inherently good. Human beings create their experience by the activity of their thinking. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And then prayer is the process that affirms our connection with God-mind and brings forth wisdom, healing, and everything good. Finally, knowing and understanding universal laws, also called truth, are not enough. A person must also live the truth that he or she knows. And then we will have Dave and his music.
I have another song for you, and I have a story. There is a basic song and a lady named Karen Drucker that has written on a whole lot of different music. And Karen tells the story years ago of being a minister of music for a church. Now, in those days, Karen was not as well known as she is now. And so she had to work gigs. She had to go out and do weddings and things. And she tells the story of going out to do a Hell's Angel wedding on a Saturday night. She said the only thing that made it a little different is that their starting set, which is normally the calm one, and then they do a little louder and wilder sets. The first set was the wild one, and it just got crazier. So she got home about 1:30 or 2:30 in the morning, and there was a note from her minister who said, I'm going to do a sermon tomorrow about how we see the divine in each other's face, and I need you to write a song for that. Which was not uncommon for that minister to do to Karen. And Karen was just she says, so I came home and I am trashed. And she's done that. And I'm sitting there going, what? And she said, and I basically went into the bed and collapsed. I got up the next morning and I had to leave the house in about 8 minutes to get to church. And I'm starting to get dressed and I thought, oh, wait a minute, I've got to write a song. So I sat down and jotted some notes down and went to church. She said, and the time came for me to do the song. And she said, and I started to do this little thing that I wrote. And it went, you are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. And Karen said by the time they'd gone through the verse twice, everyone at the church service was crying. And she said, I knew at that very moment that for just a small period of time, God had invaded my body and empowered me to let the divine flow through me. She said, and to this day, that has been my most popular song. And she said, and I wrote it from a place where I wasn't really present, but God certainly was. And that's the story of You Are the Face of God. Barbara, back to you.
Oh my, okay. Well, those of you, which would be like Pat and Stella, at church during this pandemic, when we weren't holding hands in a circle, You Are the Face of God. Oh my gosh, Dave. You Are the Face of God was our song, and how we all would be, we're in our 6 feet apart situation, whatever, and we would just look across at each other, and You Are the Face of God. That is a fabulous song and a fabulous story, Dave. Oh my gosh, you're wonderful. Love you, love you. All right, now that thank you. So here we go. I am going to read the daily word for today, which on Sunday, February 12th, is compassion. Acts of loving compassion build my strength. Whether in my community or across the world, many people face hardships. As a member of the human family, I am inspired to undertake compassionate action and help however I can. Sometimes just a prayerful thought or simple blessing can make a powerful difference in someone's life. Other times, I may be able to take more direct action. I may listen to someone deeply as they share the concerns of their heart, or may volunteer to drive them somewhere or complete errands for them. But regardless of the form of my compassionate action takes, I am motivated to be of sacred service, to bring the love and care of God into manifest form through my decisive action. And when he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them and cured their sick. And that was from Matthew 14:14. And so compassion, and I think that's definitely part of my journey at this time, for sure. And I would now like to introduce to you one of our very favorite speakers. I'm laughing just because, who has, Dave Lyman, of course, who has been speaking to us at our Unity Church 2008. So now, I forgot to do the math. It must be 15 years, because now, and Dave, do you still have over 100 teddy bears?
I do still have over 100 teddy bears and a beautiful wife.
And a beautiful Rachel, for sure. So here we go. Dave is going to do the talk for us, and we can do more, the very end of this. The very, very end, we'll have some chat time, because I was listening to Stella, and I love you all, you know that. So anyway, it's yours, Dave. Take it away.
Thanks, Barbara. Hey, and I have to be careful because, as Pat said, when you were doing some of the readings, I suddenly muted myself, and I'm your voice, so when I mute me, I mute you, so I can't do that. I'm going to set you down, Barbara. sure. I have the hand of God holding the phone. You need to hold it over here, though. Over here. Over. Come join us. Come join us.
No, I can't.
This is an ad lib.
How's this?
That's perfect. Why don't we just set it here?
Okay.
Barbara, say something.
Hi, David.
Say, you guys can hear her? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm glad to be here in whatever form we show up as, right? I've been in a band for a long time, and the most interesting part about being in the band is you learn as you go along, and the lead singer forgets an entire verse and switches over to the third verse, that you need to just be ready to go wherever spirit takes you. This is so evidenced by Barbara this morning. The title of my talk this morning is Rising Above the Noise. Kay, could you mute yourself, please? We've been involved in a period of history that is pretty amazing. We look back on interest as baby boomers that there was a period of time between 1960 and 1975 that the entire world changed. The entire world blew up. Everything was different. And so we moved along, and we started to get used to that. And then as we sped up, God said, well, I'm going to do it even more so. You know, we started off and we had a computer that filled buildings, and now we'll make it so you have a computer in your back pocket. The phone holds the same kind of material that the Gemini space capsule held. And suddenly Spirit said, well, let's up the ante a little. We'll do this thing in December of 2019, where we heard the story of Wuhan, China, something happening over there. And by March, the world was in lockdown. And suddenly we were all in quarantine. Now, I don't know about you, but it's been said in studies that the biggest thing about life is connection with each other. That the thing that makes us happy is positive relationships with each other. And yet suddenly we didn't have them. We were working. Hey, Kay? Oh, hello, Kay? Okay. Okay.
Louder, maybe.
Well, I think she's working on something. So that we'll flow that in through things. Anyway, in the midst of it, the world continued to change. That there were, how interesting, there were lots of distractions to keep us busy, right? It keeps our ego in check. It works on spiritual growth. And we were told, and even the Bible said it, John chapter 17, verse 16 says, be in the world, but not of the world. Michael Korda, who is a author, said to succeed it is necessary to accept the world as it is, to rise above it. And rising above the world and the noise of the world, because the world is a great seduction, is a moment by moment basic. Beethoven, the great composer, as he went along in life, lost his hearing. And it became so sensitive that at one point in time, there was war going on around him, and the cannons were within hearing range. And he couldn't compose. It was that bad. So a friend lent him his country home. And when he went out there, the hearing got so bad that he actually tied pillows to his ears as he composed. Now, knowing all of that, you would think this was the last piano concerto he ever did, and you would think it would be filled with dissonant and angry stuff, and it, in the end, is the most peaceful and calm piano concerto he ever wrote. It's as if by moving within himself and rising above the noise of everything around him. He touched into the truth of who he was. And that's what God does. God every day says to us, you are in the college of life. And of course, I'm working the college program, so I've given you the perfect classes for you. I've brought in the perfect teacher for you. And that teacher is going to help you see, and I love this part or hate this part, it's going to help you see exactly where you aren't connected to the divine, where you have work to do. And isn't that the truth? And that becomes our challenge, to step away from all that noise and the classes that are in our ears and rise above it. Well, I have a thought. I'm a hypnotherapist, and one of the things they taught us was you don't allow any elephants in the room without stopping for a moment and saying, there is an elephant in the room. What does that mean? It means that right now, if I were to do a meditation and the phone was to ring, I would actually make the ringing of the phone part of the meditation. And in that way, your mind would go, oh, it's all right. He talks about it. So the phone ringing is okay. And that just brought up a story in my head. The very first meditation I ever did in a church service, a woman I used to date years and years before was sitting in the front row, and her phone went off right in the midst of my meditation. And I thought, how appropriate. But then I said, it must be a phone call from God. And that's even happened the very first time I ever spoke at Unity Lower Lake. As I was standing at the podium, there was scrabbling on the roof. And I asked Barbara, who sat in the front row, what is that? And Barbara said, well, it's the squirrels on the roof. And I, without blinking an eye, looked at her and said, they must think I'm nuts. Now, on top of all that, as we go along, God gives us a temporary body to work with. And I do say temporary, because as we know, it wears out, it erodes, things happen. And eventually, I was in a workshop, and this is the first time I heard this, one of our teachers said, none of you are making it out of this place alive. And we just kind of looked at it and went, what? But it's really true. Time magazine did an article in the 70s that said the baby boomers are the first generation that don't think they're going to die, and they're just waiting to prove it. But it is part of the process. And so what if the noise, just like in the hypnotherapy of recognizing the elephant in the room, what if the noise was part of the deepening? What if the noise was part of the process? What if the noise was part of the class of spiritual growth? That the noise of the current events and politics, the noise of an earthquake in Turkey, if all those things were part of the process to center and ground us and take us deeper into the next place. It doesn't seem like that's the way to do it, but then again, we've never been in charge of God's plan. We somehow think we are, but we are not. And so how do we work with that? How do we center and how do we work with the noise? Rachel and I do a couple things. One is we really, really stay away from watching violence on TV or movies or just about any place. And it's difficult to do. In fact, we don't even watch the news very often. And in the background, you can hear music, and that is a clock that Debbie gave us that now makes noise on our wall. So for us, there is a belief that if it is spirit-based, it is love-based, it is empowered, it is what I said in that first song that we heard. I believe in you. I believe in you. Remember, this day, we're all truth seekers. You guys are all part of the choir. From wherever you come, you are quest seekers. And one of the interesting parts about it is, you know, we have all this stuff outside of us, these distractions. But Billy Graham used to say that what we really need to keep on working with is our inner space, the stuff within. So what kind of steps we do to soar, to take that step, to fly? Which just reminded me of a story I hadn't even thought of. A man had a herd of chickens. And one day, a mother eagle was flying by and dropped her baby in the midst of the chickens. Well, the man didn't know what to do, so he left the eagle there. And the eagle grew up with the chickens. One day, a traveling salesman came in and said, did you know you have an eagle with your chickens? He says, I do. He said, well, what is he doing? And the farmer said, well, he thinks he's a chicken. That's in truth how we are. We may think we're chickens, but we're eagles. And soaring above the noise is what gets us in the glide of air. So how do we do it? Well, one is to stay out of the arena. Don't participate in things that take you away from being grounded. George Bernard Shaw once said, don't get in a wrestling match with a pig because you both get filthy and the pig likes it. So it's stay in your lane. Lead by example. I have come to a place in my life that nowadays, much more than when I was in my 20s, when I would say anything, I respond with silence. Remember, Abraham Lincoln once said, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt of it. Volunteer, help other people. God bless you. The one way we work in helping each other when we are in that depth is to help others, to coach and mentor others, to work on self-improvement. And that's one of the really wonderful things about Unity students. Our fifth basic principle says, we can't just speak all the things. We need to understand and we need to take the steps. We need to do the things. Remember, there's 2 aisles of mysteries, 2 aisles of science fiction, 2 aisles of fiction, and 38 aisles of self-improvement. Those are all books on helping us remember who we are. Another part of it is to reverse polarity. Remember, negative thoughts do not come from the divine. My nickname is Tigger, and it's because for some reason I've been blessed with a default that I always show up filled with Tigger energy. People with Eeyore energy do not like me. People with rabbit energy do not like me because I bounce. I'm likely to do anything. My wife knows that I bark at the drop of a hat. And when we're in the house at night and we get up, we have a fairly large house. And if I don't know where she is, I will get up and go, bark, 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 bark. 2 reasons for that. 1, she knows it's not a chicken. 2, she knows where I am. And that comes from years of scaring the you know what out of each other in the middle of the night. We're all grown-ups, but at the same time, as Jesus has said, we are as little children waiting to enter heaven. So we have been known to sing songs as chickens. My wife and I go visit her daughter, and they have a beautiful campus, 4 acres out in the south. And they will play music, and they have a water truck company, and they're welders, and they're all sorts of things. And at one point in time, we were out there singing music, and suddenly Rachel and I broke into a 60s song in full chicken. I've never seen 25 people get quieter quicker, as they all just kind of turned and stared at us. But it is part of the fact that we live our lives being who we are. We let the noise of the world be part of the noise of the world. And our job is to rise above it. One of the things we've discovered at our age is that every restaurant is the noisiest place on earth. Do they not make any restaurants that are quiet anymore? Our response to that, of course, is to start to do the thing we always knew our parents did, and we couldn't figure out why, which is, oh, it's 4 o'clock, time to go to the early bird dinner lunch, because it's quieter. It's time to rise above the noise. It's time to not fight the noise, but to flight it, to fly, to glide, to let our wings be filled with the air of each other, the divine we see in the eyes across, because that updraft will make sure that your glider is working. We'll get higher and higher where the air is clear, where it's clear, and we can see each other. Rumi, the philosopher, once said, out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing, beyond the ideas of right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When our souls are down in the grass of that field, the world is too full to talk about. It is to experience and rise above the noise. That is our job, our challenge. It is us going out being who we are. So let us rise above the noise this week as we bring Barbara the phone back into the process. And so it is. And Barbara, I'm using the fact that we've gone ahead and done some things with the songs that were meditative. So we're not going to do a stop meditation, but I would ask that each of you today take a minute, and whether it's at your window because it's 8 below, or it's standing in the backyard listening to the birds, let nature be a part of your day. It's all yours, Barbara.
Okay, David. Surely I did take notes, and as you spoke of the bird, I heard there's a woodpecker out there, and it's our house. I think he's found something. So I haven't yet, I've heard him before. I have yet to have located the woodpecker. But anyway, David, thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. I don't know if Kay stayed on, because I'm afraid to hit any button at all, or the whole thing will end, but I'm going to get it straightened out, Pat, by Wednesday, and the reason being that we have this whatever thing. What is it? Wednesdays from 9:20 to 10:30. We're doing a Zoom meeting to discuss the inspiring book, The Way of Mastery. And I ran into this problem last Wednesday, and but Pat, you got on, so shoot. So anyway, and now I never expected to have the same problem. I have a very computer wise son, and he will get this straightened out. That's all. I just know it. I have faith. Whatever. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So announcements would include the fact of Wednesdays from 9:20 to 9. We were going to chat for about 10 minutes in there before. You can join, you can listen, you can whatever. Join our Zoom meeting on Wednesdays, and then continuing on. Well, Patricia will be there next week doing the metaphysical meaning of Lent, and then a short, very short general meeting will follow the service. Then we have on the end, on the 26th, we have Zoom service with Reverend David McNair, and true confessions, he said. He's introduced me to some of the talk. And of course, he's wonderful, as both our Davids are the most amazing people. So we're so lucky that we've had these people through the years. So the donations are greatly appreciated, and of course you're just mailing to Unity PO Box 755 Lower Lake 95457. And so
bye everybody, it's Kay. Bye.
I'll do the prayer for protection, which I use a lot because when I get into the car type of thing, it might advanced stage, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I will say, the light of God surrounds us. And then I remind myself, I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is wonderful. And so the power for protection. So now, Bill had started singing the peace song at the very end. So David, did we have something?
Let me tell you a little story. Cy Miller and his wife Jill were a couple that worked in the New Thought arena, and were doing retreats with youth choirs. And they were doing a retreat in Southern California where they're going to have 180 kids get together for a week. So they wanted to develop a song about friendship and understanding. So they introduced a song in a rehearsal called the Peace Song. And when the retreat ended, the 180 kids left that retreat and were like locusts. They each took that song and spread it through the world. And again, just listening to the words, and let the words be part of how we show up. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. It's the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers are we. Let me walk with my brother and sister in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The biggest difficulty with the peace song is, since it has gone out into the world,